Today is May 23rd, 2023. Today was an exciting day. And what normally happens is on an exciting day, uh, things don't go the way that I want. Or it's possible that I have a very good day. Now, there is a thing called hope. And this hope plays into the trades that I made today. And what I did was I essentially bought about 500 shares of Tesla. I started adding and adding and adding, all the while thinking in my head that my mind is saying this to myself. I'm saying this to myself and it made sense to me, which essentially does not make any sense at all. Because when the stock keeps going down, then it's going to reach a point where the drawdown is so severe that it's going to hit my max daily loss, and I cannot allow that account to exceed that. And so I have to either size down or exit. I have to do one or two things: size down or exit, or just one of those two things need to occur. But in this case, what I did was I was essentially so large in the size because the stock moved so much. Essentially moving about $4 with 500 shares, that's about a $2,000 move. When a stock moves that much, the max daily loss limit will be reached, causing my account to be my account to fail. And so I had to exit before that event occurred. However, even though it didn't reach the max daily limit, I suffered a heavy loss. Now, I'm thinking in my mind plays tricks on me. I have to, as God as my witness, my mind plays tricks on reason. It plays tricks on reason. And that reason hides in a corner, which I've mentioned in the past, and it's a reality of the situation. And what my mind says is this. My mind says that I'm going to add, and even though it's down, I'm going to add. Oh, look, it went down a little bit, but I'm going to add a little bit more. It's a better bargain. And when the stock reverses, because I know it's going to reverse, clearly when it's going to reverse, I'm going to have a monster day. I'm going to recoup the losses that I have, and I'm going to have a monster day. That's the mindset that I have that's been whispering into my mind. And I listen to it, and I heed to it, and I do as the voice says to me. Now, this is a direct correlation with what I do as a dishwasher. I know exactly what I need to do on a daily basis without somebody telling me, hey, do this, do that. But it makes the other person feel better to themselves to say, hey, look, can you do this? And I go and take care of it. Because for them, they feel that what they're doing is guiding in the direction that I'm going, even though I do what I'm supposed to do. I have to sequentially do things, and I will do things that I'm supposed to do. And that whispering and that constant command that occurs detracts from my own thinking, causing my trading. Well, that's an excuse. I'm not going to create any excuses. But that's how it works. That's how it seems like my voice is saying. My voice, there's a voice in my mind that is saying, look, I know you're down, but all you have to do is add a little more. Okay, so it's down a little bit more after you added, but you add a little more. And when you add a little more, it's going to get better. You add a little more, it's going to get better. Eventually, what we'll do is when it finishes its dip, that's the point where I've added so much that when it reaches a certain point, then it's kind of create an emotional trigger that causes me to sell. After I sell, however, it may or may not dip a little bit more, and then it'll start to recover, because that is on a general way the market moves is that there's an overreaction and then there's a rebound to get into the true level of the market day. But until that true level occurs, that emotional trigger will cause the stock to dip beyond where the normal point of where it should be, because it has an emotional trigger. And when that emotional trigger subsides, then it returns to the point where the market should be on a normal basis. So there is this voice, a voice whispers into my mind that says, look, just keep adding, keep adding, keep adding. The body has the body just does this mindlessly on a subconscious level. Click, 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 gets it done. That's one level of doing it. And so I relate to what I do as a dishwasher sometimes, preparing fingers. And so my mind is essentially bored out of my mind because I know what I need to do, and I process something that needs to be processed within 1 hour. And my mind is preoccupied with something else, and it is mechanically, subconscious is performing this task of taking 50 pounds of meat, roughly about 30 pounds of meat, 30 or 40 pounds of meat, and then peeling off the sinews, and then slicing into a thin layer, and then chopping up to the finger-sized meat portions and putting into a ice-filled container. Afterwards, when I have a sufficient amount of pile, then I would grab a few, put it in a bag, and then weigh it to make sure that it is proper weight for each serving. Then I put it into the container, and I repeat this, and within about an hour and a half, without my mind thinking about it, my hand coordination has already taken care of it. So I relate that to the day trading that I have. And when that occurs with this mind, with the voice and subconscious body moving by itself to take care of certain things, and when I carry that into day trading, that is a formula for disaster. When the market is moving in the direction where my thinking is, then it moves in the right direction. Then the results are positive. But when the market is moving in the slightly different than the way that I think, and it causes the outer bounds of the envelope of my trading environment, where my emotional triggers are captured within the subset of my trading environment, trading goes well. However, there will be cases where I am sized in too big, and the movement is such that it moves beyond the envelope, causing me to experience a emotional triggering event that causes me to the reality to sink in. And then the thinking portion of my mind pops in and says, hey, you can't do that. Otherwise, if my body and my subconscious mind is triggering it, then I would have suffered such a heavy loss. So essentially what happens is emotion causes the reasoning portion to enter into the picture, to organize. It's essentially like a substitute teacher that's popping in and organizing what the class is doing. And in most cases, trading occurs in an autopilot mode, and that's what autopilot is. So when I can capture that moment and be able to somehow, this is a fallible human factor in my trading that is impacting the results that I want. And until I fix this one particular part of my trading, then I'm going to have a sawtooth kind of an effect in my trading P&L. Essentially, week going up, and then a day to drop, a week going up. It's like a sawtooth. And so I need to capture this, and I need to keep working on it. I have to pinpoint exactly the mechanism that's causing this issue to keep occurring, and then fix it, nip it in the bud, so that I can retain the upward trajectory without being impacted by the fix that I will implement, and then be able to. So I have to figure that out. And that voice in my mind, and the auto mechanical behavior of my hand and body needs to coordinate itself with the reasonable side of day trading.